With first elimination of the jug, which is race number 13. And to me, this is the race that is going to make Artificial win the jug. Because I think you've got the next two best horses in here, Badlands Nitro and Shadow Play. They start side by side. Badlands Nitro inside of Shadow Play, Sears and Dave Miller. And in the jug, I mean, you have to win your elimination.
Right.
I mean, if you're going to win the jug, you don't win your elim. Very, very tough to do. So these two horses can't afford to let each other get out of their sights. They've got to race each other. And I think the pedal's going to be to the floor. And, you know, they're great horses, but they're going to be used very hard in this elimination. Personally, I like Shadow Play. I thought in the Confederation Cup, his elim was faster than Some Beach Somewheres. He was great. But they had an open draw in the final. Draw is the 8-hole, half-mile track. It's all over there. And I know Dave Miller's very high on the horse, too. And Badlands Nitro is really good as well. He's a world champion. And, you know, a lot of people say, oh, in the Cane Pace, if he gets out sooner or beats Artificial, I think they could have gone around again. He wasn't going to beat Artificial, but that's one man's opinion. But these two are the two best by far. Maybe On the Brink will be third. He's been a little better with Lasix, but it's 3-4-4-3.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That doesn't take a genius to figure this one out.
Are you calling me not a genius?
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely. After 5 days in the booth with him, believe me. But
especially with no electricity.
Yeah.
Got a little close in there.
Not the best smelling guy either. That's all I'm going to say. No, I'm just kidding. I went 3-4-1. I can't separate the 3 and the 4, so hopefully you guys can. But yeah, there's two sensational horses, and they're going to beat each other up a little bit in here, I would think.
And one thing about Shadow Play, he raced up at Mohawk against older horses, and he made a heck of a move first over on a turn in the third quarter, 27 flat?
Right.
And I mean, that was a huge, huge tightening effort, because for a 3-year-old to face older horses, even if they're not the Mr. Bigs of the world, you know, that's a tough task against the seasoned professional racehorses. So I think Shadow Play is in real good shape. Badlands Nitro is a great horse, too. Either way you want to go there. So anyhow, we've settled on 3-4-4-3. Box them up in that exacta for a buck and get your $3 back or whatever. Now the 14th race, Deuce Sealster is scratched. I think he's suffering from a bad case of 7-hole itis.
Yeah.
It hits a lot of horses, but they usually bounce back the next week pretty quick. Word is he's got a quarter crack, but who really knows? But anyhow, this to me is the most wide open division by far, and somebody's going to win a jug elimination that might not be in the top 15 3-year-old pacers out there.
Right.
Lone Star Legend has the rail. Don Swick said the horse is just as good on the smaller tracks as the big tracks. He doesn't think the turns are an issue. Up front, Hannah's Boy, earlier this year when he won the North America Cup Consolation, I thought he was one of the top 3-year-old pacers. I thought he's really coming into his own. Had a terrible trip in the Meadowlands Pacey limbs. Never left the wood. I don't know what, it was maybe a bad drive by Tim Tetrick. Maybe he had no horse. I really don't know. Hasn't really been that good since. So really don't know what to make of him. Tokia, Mickey Burke bought from Peter Kleinhans. He's picked up his game. But the horse I like is Mystery Chase. And the Meadowlands Pace Consolation, he was awesome. You get John Campbell because Deuce Sealster is scratched. So I'm going to go for Mystery Chase, who might be a bit of a price in there. You can make a case for Lone Star Legend and a Tokia to be right there. Up front, Hannah's Boy with his A game, possibly. But I really like the 5 in there at what could be, 4 or 5 to 1.
I'm going to go for a price, too. I'm going to roll the dice that this is finally up front Hannah's Boy's week. He's been underperforming for a couple of months. Really like his qualifier at Scioto on August 30th, but then he came back and did not race well in the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes Championship. But I think he has a chance to make the front in here, and as we've heard, that's the place to be here at Delaware. So with an 8-to-1 morning line, I'm going to give him a chance. I went 3-1-4. But this is the jug elim where you might actually be able to cash a decent ticket because it should be a wide open betting board.
And the one thing about Mystery Chase that I'm a little worried about, he doesn't show tremendous gate speed. But with John Campbell driving, I think we'll be in good position and get a move on to the 15th race. I've got a horse for you. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Artificial.
Stop the tape. Yeah. Artificial drawing the rail. That's it. It's over.
But anyhow, I like Artificial. I think Jody Jameson with Santana Blue Chips going to drop right in behind him, get the 2-hole tuck.
1-2-1-2.
Yeah, and I think everybody's going to kind of follow along.